It is time to hit social media for cash tags. For that, we'd like to welcome in Landon Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio.com, and we have Evelyn Baker back with us to talk some jeans.
Right, so Levi's, they report their earnings today after market, and this is another one of those companies that recently IPO'd. However, it's kind of pretty different. I mean, for starters, it's a 166-year-old company, right?
Right.
With an already very well-known name brand. So Landon, I'm wondering, as far as LikeFolio's data, does that go as far back as just the IPO, or how far back does your data really go into Levi's?
Yeah, so we can get data back to 2012 for any company, not back to 1850s when this one started. But yeah, when we add a new company, even if it's an IPO, we can actually go back and get the historical data. And one thing that you'll notice when you look at that historical data is that it reflects a pretty big downtrend in jeans over the last, five or so years. It's actually, jeans as a whole in the U.S. have been down about 11% over the last 5 years, while apparel in general has been up 10%. And so there has been a pretty negative trend with jeans that's actually just sort of started to snap in 2016, 2017. So this is good timing for the company. Sales are starting to go up. Purchase intent starting to go up, and you can see that this is, like I said, it's a good time for the company. They just IPO'd in March. I think they IPO'd around 17, but traded up to 22 that first day, and they're around 20 right now. So market's still trying to figure out exactly how much they're valued, but jeans are definitely on the comeback right now, and obviously that's good for Levi.
So if you look at your data, Landon, on a name like Levi's, which relies mostly on, department stores or brick and mortar stores. They've got a lot of their sales based in those. And you guys have seen weakening data in some of the brick and mortar stores compared to the e-commerce companies and maybe the Walmarts and Targets. Does that come into play here when you're talking about a brand like Levi's that relies on somebody else for a lot of their distribution?
It does. However, they're aware of that trend, obviously. Actually, on their last quarter, they reported that direct-to-consumer was up about 9%. And so I think that you're going to see that trend. I mean,
a little bit of
it looks like we may have lost Landon. We'll see if he comes back here. But the one thing that I wanted to say regarding this, what I'm seeing here is it's interesting to see the decrease in purchase intent in something like Levi's with such a powerful brand, and maybe that is reflective of an overall move away from jeans. I'd love to see that overlaid with like a Lululemon purchase intent, because I'm sure that these are almost inverse. Is Lululemon kind of representative, right, at least for males, as kind of maybe more of that chino pant look, or something more like a golf pant, right, that would be, as a possible alternative to jeans? I don't know if you have thoughts on that, Tom.
Well, this is a question for you guys, is do you guys look at Levi's as because I grew up with Levi's. I mean, that was the cool thing to wear. Are you guys reflective of seeing that become a trend again in the millennial generation?
On social media, yes. Not as much in my personal sphere. I do have friends who are shifting to Levi's to buy jeans because they are more cost effective. But on social media, yes, I am seeing this trend is really ticking up. In fact, I have this first tweet from Zane who says, "Nothing lasts forever except Levi's jeans." And I chose this one because I thought it was funny that Levi is such a older company, but this Twitter user, if you can see, it's a younger person, and I've noticed that a lot of younger people on Twitter are seemingly buying more Levi's jeans, whether they're in store or online, or even some thrift stores. But it seems to be the trend to get those older styles back.
Yeah, that's true. And Landon, we got Landon back, and Landon, maybe you can hit on that a little bit more, because you guys see the social trends on a lot of these brand names before the market actually sees it. And you've seen a nice little bump over the last several months as far as data goes, right?
Macro trend has been picking up. So it's doing really well. And I think one of the reasons is a lot of the, yoga pants used to be the cool thing, right? But now I think it's sort of turning into a soccer mom thing. And so now the 20-somethings are trying to differentiate from being soccer moms, and they're looking to jeans to do that. And actually, jeans are becoming more stretchy to accommodate the taste of the day. And so jeans overall are projected to grow over the next 5 years, probably 5% or so. So they've had a big downtrend, but they're coming back. And again, Levi's positioned well to take advantage of that.
And there has been a lot of strength in the women's department as a whole with Levi's. I believe that the women's section improved 16% year over year for the last quarter that we saw. And also their tops segment has improved as well. So we've been seeing some other products come out of Levi's that aren't just strictly jeans. But to talk about strictly jeans, our next tweet from Nick Fan says, I think they have lost the quality of their products. I bought some slacks that ripped in less than a year. I don't think I would buy their stocks at this point. I think it is a dying brand.
Hey, Nick Fan, you called them slacks, so you're discounted, right?
Well, the Knicks may be a dying brand as well, but Landon, while we lost you briefly there, I was kind of talking about the trends in like Lululemon, let's say, and have they moved towards the menswear. Their products that have really been popular, their pants in particular, kind of as an alternative to jeans. Is that kind of what you've seen in terms of the movement away from jeans, even though it's starting to come back here?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I think there's been a big trend with stretchy fabric. It's just, I think it makes everybody look a little bit better. It's more comfortable, and I think that yoga pants sort of kicked that off. And Lulu's taking advantage of that with just other types of pants that are a little bit more stretchy. Jeans are starting to go that way as well, and Levi's taking advantage. The one thing I would point out, though, about Levi that's a little bit off, I guess, is their PE ratio. If you compare them to Urban Outfitters, American Eagle, Abercrombie & Fitch, those are all 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there on the PE ratio. Levi's at 19. So I'm not sure that the streets got them valued correctly right now, but that's always tough to do after an early IPO.
And that's a really, really good point. Final thoughts here. With this move towards direct marketing on like Instagram, a lot of these smaller companies have easier access to, different potential clients and customers. How has that impacted the powerful brands like Levi's in this apparel space as more and more people are just buying things that they see on ads?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, as Tom pointed out earlier, malls are dying, and so you can't count on people walking into a mall and walking into a store to pick up your clothing. You've got to go direct to consumer. You got to do things like influencers on Instagram, and so that's extremely important. So I think that's probably, it's a great point. I think that's probably the biggest thing that people are going to be listening to on the call this afternoon is how their direct to consumer is doing. That's a big move for this company for sure, Alex.
All righty, we'll look forward to that, Landon. We got to leave it there. Thanks as always for joining us.